I have been playing Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. I got to play it behind closed doors at PAX. It was a really cool event. They shot me the email. Do you want to check out our game? Really can't talk about it yet, but we'll know more when we get there. They had a really nice like hotel room set up, but they had a little station where I got to sit. I got a hat. Oh, I should have had the hat. I don't have the hat for this episode, Topher.
No.
They gave me a hat that says Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days, and maybe I'll put a selfie in here on Instagram or something. But Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days, I guess Into the Dead is a franchise that they've made for a while. I think the other 2 games are on mobile, but this is the first PC game. And the whole thing is a 2.5D survival game where you are in Texas during a zombie apocalypse. I was infatuated with this game when I got to play it at PAX. It was such a fun surprise, and I had a very vertical slice of like, here's 3 levels that are going to introduce some of the mechanics. Where I'm currently at in my early access play, I'm still fairly early. I haven't experienced a lot of those things that I've seen before. But as you start the game, they give you the option to pick from a variety of like duos. So you start every run with these 2 characters or these 2 characters. There's the difference of like, I'm a writing teacher and I've had this troubled student. I'm a hard ass coach and I've got my like MVP quarterback. We have the lady who went to protest the rodeos. And when she got there, she's like, wait, that guy's kind of hot. And then fell in love with the dude. He's like, hey, rodeos ain't that bad, darling. Like you have all these different archetypes and like, those are who you're starting the apocalypse with. But yeah, so you have like a selection. I think it's like 5 or 6 different teams you can pick, and then each one will start at a different part of town or with a different selection of medicines, weapons, tools, etc. As you start in your shelter, you have to barricade it, right? Like it already starts with some barricade, but every night the zombies are trying to break in, and your goal is to make sure that they don't get you, or if they're gonna get you, that you move to another shelter to stay safe. You always just want to keep moving, keep going, getting supplies, moving to a new place that's more secure, and picking up new survivors along the way so you have a stronger army team, I guess is what you want to do. I started my first run here with the coach and like MVB player team. It is Daryl and Leo, I believe are their names. And you start off, you go to the small house somewhere in Texas. You're just exploring, kind of get your hands on like how the controls work. And it's a lot of stop, scavenge. And then if you run into a zombie, you can either stealth past them, but you want to do it semi-quick because if you kind of linger, they'll be like, I'll smell you, I'm gonna get you. Or you can just start swinging. It is very just like walk in, smack, dodge kind of thing to make sure you're not, dying. But you can go to a door and like peek in and you can see like, okay, nothing's walking in this room. I can go in. You can see in the footage, I did not know the button to open the door. I kept trying to figure it out and I just go, but yeah, I've had a couple times where I got tripped up because there is a like LT does like a back lunge so you can dodge an attack. I would often try to run and then dodge. So I'd like turn and then dodge into the zombie and then die. I'm like, no, wait, I fucked up. So that was a problem. But I think that's more of just learning curve of the controls. But I'm really enjoying this game. As you're exploring, you come up with plans to escape the city. So like once you start and open the menu, you currently have no plans. You haven't discovered anything to escape. So your whole goal is to go from settlement to settlement, find things, find people, and then once you have a plan, execute that plan and then leave. I've not been able to do that yet. I've died. So I don't know exactly what that looks like, but like you have day and night, you start the day, you send somebody out, or well, you can send somebody out. You don't have to, you should, because that's kind of where the main gameplay element is. But you could go to someone and be like, hey, you stay here, you build the barricade, you stay here, you cook meals so we have things to eat, you go sleep. I can tell you're exhausted. And then as you send people out, there's the chance for these like traumatic moments. And what those do is they'll like temporarily affect your character's like ability to heal or rest or anything like that. I haven't experienced that here at home, but at the behind closed doors segment, I was in like a police station, and when you walk in, like the lockers where they keep their weapons were just bodies hung up, hooks through the face. Like it's a traumatic thing, and it like affects your character. Like, oh God, I'm scarred. And I can't remember the name of the status, but like it affects them. Like my character can no longer do this for like 4 phases, which is like 4 day night, type deals. And I thought that was really cool because it changes the way you have to play, and it might keep you more weary as you're exploring different locations. Also, then you take them home and like, now I got to use the other characters that I have. Let me tell you the story of Daryl and Leo and how this all went. I sent Daryl out to a video store where on the roof he was exploring, and a zombie woke up because I was walking too loud. That's where I bumbled, and I didn't save Daryl. I like dodged backwards into the zombie,
No.
and Daryl died. So that left Leo alone. Leo was all alone. So Leo was the only character I had to do anything. So yeah, once Daryl dies, Daryl's body is left there with all the equipment he took with him. Any weapons, medicine, everything is in that location. It's not gone. It's just sitting there. So then next session or next phase, I'm like, let me go take Leo. I go back to the same location because I want to get those things. But then following night, I send Leo out to another location where I found a survivor. He walked through a door and I thought he was a zombie. So I went to run. He's like, hey, you better get out of here, kid. I'm like, well, hold on. Maybe I can talk you into letting me stay or you joining me or XYZ. And then I fucked up and hit him when I had like 1 health. So he hit me back and I died, which ended my run. But yeah, so I lost my first run, but then I ended up going with the girl who wants to talk to the cowboy and falls in love team. That's my current run. I've not made it very far. I'm only on the first or like second day there, so I'm still progressing with them. But I really like the loop of this game. I'm finding the go out, scavenge for stuff, come back, see how it affects him. This guy's tired now, so I got to fix that. This guy's hungry, we got to fix that. There's a few like quality of life things that I'm hoping I see improved as we go. Like you just have like 1 backpack of inventory, which is totally fine. It fits, it works. But some items can be used out in the wild. Some items have to be used at the shelter. Some items can only be used when like, oh, I broke something. So like I use that to fix a broken arm, or I do XYZ. That isn't very clearly labeled unless you just read the description. So like sometimes I'll be out and I'm like, okay, I lost a little health, let me use this med kit. I'm like, why can't I use this med kit? Oh, it's because I have to use it, but it only affects me at the end of the day. So like I'll heal and then I'm actively healing, but it does until I end the day or go home, then my health goes up. So it's one of those like, okay, I would love what is my quick, like my arm hurts, wrap it up and move on. Like I currently don't have medicine for that, or if I do, I don't know how to use it, but then I die. So it really doesn't matter if I heal or not. But yeah, the cycle of going in, finding stuff, and being so scarce with, I say my resources, but my people, the people I can play as and explore as, you only get so many. And since I've not been able to recruit anybody else or find anybody else, it's been tough because I'm like, I want to send you out. And if I don't send you out, we won't get resources. But if we don't get resources, we die. So like, I got to do something. I got to find a way. So
that looks scary.
Yeah. And like, these zombies will come and get me, but I'm like, let me be quiet. Let me be stealthy. Let me get past these guys. Do a thing. And like in here, this one's sitting on the bed. I'm like, she could see me, but what if I just don't do anything? What if I go take the loot out of here and put this stuff in the bag, and then jump out the window? There's a lot of stealth to it, but I think if you wanted to choose to run and gun it, you absolutely could. I don't recommend it. It's probably not safe. Now I may have picked a bad team that doesn't have a lot of good melee weapons to start, and going out to find some, like, I have this knife, it's about to break, and I've got nothing else to contribute, so this is not good, but we'll work with it. But yeah, I think this leaves you to level yourself up in like your skill for the game to then play it how you want. But definitely out the rip, I was a lot more like, I gotta stealth this, I gotta be quiet and not let anybody get me, I gotta be shush, and we'll move on. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I want to get further in and see more of like, but yeah, the game is fun. I definitely recommend checking out early access here. I know they have a roadmap. I can't think of what exactly is getting added or updated along the way, but I'm just as impressed as I was when I played it at PAX. I'm excited to get further in and see more of what the game will have to offer, and then watch me lose everything. Like, fuck, I had so much good shit.
I did notice that this game is set in the 80s.
Yes.
Does that influence like the story at all?
Not where I've been so far. The game's not, as far as during gameplay, you're not really getting a lot of, here's the narrative beats and everything that's happening. It's a lot of to go out and survive. And when you go to a place, so far, as for what I see, every place has a telescope. And if you go to that telescope, you'll discover more places to explore. So like you'll start with like, here's our shelter, here's 2 spaces. If I go to the garage, I get on the roof. Oh, cool. I found the video store and I found the strip club, I guess, down the street or something, right? And then I can go to one of them and I find another telescope. Oh, cool. Now I found the motel, or I found the docks that have blah, 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 blah. So it is a lot more of the experience in the world and surviving, less the story. But like I said, each set of characters have their, here's how we got together. Like I know one of the set of characters is the therapist and her client, of like, they were in a meeting and then everything went to shit. So now they're like, they needed each other more than they expected. So now they're surviving together. But each character will come with stats, and I can't think of off the top of my head, but they'll be like, this guy sleeps better, but after this happens, such and such will happen. And I think it seems like it's 2 positives and a negative. So you have to like weigh when you take a character, how do they work this way or the other. Narratively, so far, it hasn't seemed to be much of a play. It seems like the setting's 1980, you know where you're at. But yeah, I haven't experienced a lot culturally in the game that feels like it really changed anything. That might evolve as I get further. Again, the only person I've met to speak to, I fucked up and tried to kill by accident. So, could change, could be different, but yeah, I would love to see more narrative stuff show up. Like, there's no cutscenes or anything, which I think is fine. It's nice to have just the gameplay of it, but yeah, feeling like the characters are evolving and doing stuff. They more just have like little dialogue to themselves. I'm like, I gotta move on. Like, if someone dies, everybody at the shelter will gain grieving, which is, I think, nerfs your ability to rest or something like that. I forget. I only had one guy, so it really didn't matter what he had. He had to go out. So, but yeah, there's a lot of things to track, and it will probably sound overwhelming at first, but it is really cool to see how that is like plays.
It does look cool, and I think the setting of being in the 80s adds to like this feeling of solitude that you can experience when there's no one around except for the zombies. So I hope it gets worked out like a bit more. With
the exception of a few nitpicks like this happened or that happened, whatever, like I'm having a great time. I know this game's not for everybody. Like, I don't think I can scream like everyone in the world has to play Into the Dead. Like, but I think people could look at this like, oh, this looks like something I would like. I think you'll enjoy it. Like, it's polished enough. It's got different ways to play. It's got these different characters. You have a lot of, I want to say customization, but like you have your choice in how you want to explore, how you want to survive. And I think that's really cool. So yeah, I think there's fun to be had here. And I'm excited to see what else I can do after I'm sure my young couple dies. And maybe I'll go with the therapist next and see how that goes.
Therapy is always a good option.
It is, guys. Go to therapy. But yeah, Into the Dead.